There's a moment in every man's life when he realizes he's been chasing the wrong things, and in that moment, everything changes. What he thought he wanted, it wasn't it. What he'd been overlooking, that was everything. Let me tell you something that's going to make some of you uncomfortable, and some of you are going to feel seen for the first time in years. When I talk to men, really successful men, men who have dated a lot, men who have been in relationships, marriages, men who have had their hearts broken and put back together, there's a pattern. And the pattern is this: at some point, they stop being attracted to the same things. The things that used to drive them wild at 25, they don't even register anymore. The drama, the games, the performance of it all, it exhausts them, and they start noticing something else, something quieter, something deeper, something that doesn't announce itself but somehow fills the entire room. They start noticing older women. Now, I'm not talking about age as a number, I'm talking about a type of woman. A woman who's lived, who's learned, who's made mistakes and owned them, who doesn't need your validation because she's already validated herself, who doesn't perform femininity, she embodies it. And here's what nobody tells you: the things these women do that men find irresistible. They're small, tiny, you'd miss them if you weren't paying attention, but once a man notices, he can't unsee it, he can't unfeel it, he's ruined for anything less. So today I'm going to break down 20 small things older women do that men secretly love. And I'm warning you right now, if you're a younger woman watching this, don't get defensive, learn from it, because one day you're going to be this woman. And if you're an older woman watching this, I want you to understand your power. Because you have more of it than you realize, let's get into it. Number one, she doesn't fill every silence. Have you ever been around someone who's so comfortable in their own skin that they don't need to fill every gap in the conversation? That's her. Younger women, and I'm generalizing here, but stay with me. Younger women often feel like silence is failure. Like if there's a pause, something's wrong, so they fill it. They ask another question. They tell another story. They laugh a little too loud at something that wasn't that funny. But an older woman, she lets the silence breathe. She'll sit across from you at dinner, take a sip of her wine, and just look at you. Not in an awkward way, in a way that says, I'm here, I'm present, I don't need to perform for you. And here's why men love this: because most of us spend our entire lives in noise. Our jobs are noisy. Our friendships are noisy. Social media is noise. We're drowning in input. And then we meet a woman who doesn't add to that. She subtracts from it. She creates space. And in that space, we can finally breathe. I remember talking to a guy, a CEO, hype, powered, always moving, always thinking 3 steps ahead. And he told me about the woman he was dating. He said, Matt, when I'm with her, my brain stops, not in a dumb way. In a peaceful way. We can sit on her couch for an hour and say almost nothing, and it's the best hour of my week. That's power. That's what she does. She doesn't fill the silence because she doesn't fear it. And men find that deeply, deeply attractive. Number two, she has a life that doesn't revolve around him. This one's huge. And it's counterintuitive, because we've been sold this idea that if you really love someone, you make them your world. You drop everything for them. You're available 24/7. You mold your life around theirs. An older woman doesn't do that. She has friends she's known for decades. She has hobbies she's invested years into. She has routines that matter to her: a morning walk, a pottery class, a book club, Sunday brunch with her sister. And when you come into her life, you don't replace those things, you add to them. You become a part of her life, not the center of it. And men, we love this because it takes the pressure off. We don't have to be everything for you. We don't have to entertain you every second. We don't have to worry that if we have a busy week at work, you're going to fall apart. But here's the deeper thing: when a woman has her own life, it proves she chose you. She didn't need you, she wanted you, and that distinction, that's everything, because need is pressure, want is freedom. I've seen this destroy relationships. A man starts dating a woman who makes him her entire world, and at first it feels amazing. He feels needed, important, but 6 months in, he feels suffocated. He feels guilty for wanting space. He feels trapped with an older woman. That doesn't happen because she already has space. She already has a full life, and you're invited into it. And that invitation feels like a gift, not an obligation. Number three, she knows how to apologize. This sounds simple. It's not. Most people apologize to end a fight. They don't apologize because they're sorry. They apologize because they're tired. They want it to be over. So they say, I'm sorry, fine, whatever, and nothing gets resolved. The same fight happens again next week, and the week after that. An older woman apologizes differently. She apologizes with specificity. She says, I'm sorry I said that thing about your job in front of your friends. That was hurtful and it came from my own insecurity, not from anything you did. I won't do that again. See the difference? She names the behavior. She takes responsibility. She doesn't make excuses, and she tells you what's going to change. This is mature communication, and men, especially men who have been in bad relationships, recognize it immediately. Because we've been on the receiving end of non apologies, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry, but you did this first. I'm sorry, I guess. Those aren't apologies. Those are defenses disguised as apologies. An older woman doesn't do that. She's been humbled by life. She knows she's not perfect. She's made mistakes and she's owned them. So when she's wrong, she says it clearly, without drama, without making herself the victim. And that makes a man feel safe because he knows that if something goes wrong, you can talk about it, you can fix it. You're not going to twist reality to avoid admitting fault. You're going to be honest. And honesty is the foundation of everything. Number four, she compliments him in specific ways. Here's something most women don't realize: men are starving for compliments. We don't get them, we just don't. If we're lucky, someone tells us we look nice once a year at a wedding. That's it. So when a woman compliments us, we remember it for years. But here's the thing: generic compliments don't land. You're hot. You're great, you're amazing, those are nice, but they're forgettable. An older woman compliments differently. She notices things, specific things. She'll say, I love how patient you were with that waiter, even though he got our order wrong twice. That says a lot about who you are. Or, I noticed the way you talked to your mom on the phone. You really listened to her. That's rare. Or, you have this way of making people feel like they matter. I saw you do it with my friend at dinner. You asked her about her painting and you actually cared about her answer. Do you see what she's doing? She's not complimenting your looks. She's complimenting your character. She's complimenting your actions. She's complimenting the things you do that you don't even realize you're doing. And when a man hears that, he feels seen, not for what he has or what he looks like, for who he is, and that kind of validation. It changes him. He wants to be around the person who sees him that clearly. Number five, she doesn't punish him for being human. We all have bad days. Days where we're tired, where we're stressed, where we say something we don't mean, where we forget to text back, where we're not our best selves. A younger woman, and again I'm generalizing, but a younger woman often takes this personally. If you're quiet, she thinks you're mad at her. If you're stressed, she thinks she did something wrong. If you need space, she thinks you don't love her anymore. So she reacts, she pushes, she demands to know what's wrong. She turns your bad day into a relationship crisis. An older woman doesn't do that. She gives you room to be human. She'll say, you seem off today. I'm here if you want to talk, but if you need space, that's okay too. I'm not going anywhere. And then she leaves it. She doesn't hover. She doesn't interrogate. She doesn't make your stress about her. Why? Because she's been through enough life to know that not everything is personal. Sometimes people are just tired. Sometimes work is hard. Sometimes the world is heavy. And the best thing you can do for someone you love is not add to that weight. Men feel this. We feel the difference between a woman who gives us space and a woman who makes us explain ourselves every time we're not smiling. And we gravitate toward the first one because we already carry so much. We don't want to carry the burden of managing your anxiety on top of it. This doesn't mean she's a doormat. It doesn't mean she accepts bad behavior. It means she knows the difference between a bad day and a bad relationship. And she doesn't confuse the two. Number six. She tells stories that go somewhere. This one's going to sound shallow, but it's not. An older woman knows how to tell a story. She doesn't ramble. She doesn't get lost in unnecessary details. She doesn't say, wait, was it Tuesday or Wednesday? Hold on, let me think. Okay, so anyway, or actually, no, first this other thing happened. She gets to the point, she sets the scene, she builds tension, she delivers the punchline, or the lesson, or the emotion, and then she stops. She doesn't over explain. She doesn't keep talking after the story's over. She trusts you got it, and men love this because here's the truth, we're listening. We want to hear what you have to say, but if you take 15 minutes to tell a story that should take 3, we check out. Not because we don't care, because our brains can't follow it. An older woman has learned this. She's told enough stories. She's watched enough eyes glaze over. She's refined it. She knows what to include and what to cut. And the result, her stories are engaging, they're entertaining, they're memorable, and after she tells one, we think, I want to hear more of those. Not, I hope she stops talking soon. Number 7, she doesn't compete with other women. Insecurity is ugly. I don't mean physically, I mean energetically. When someone is constantly comparing themselves to others, constantly looking around to see who's prettier, smarter, more successful, it creates this tension. This vibe, and people feel it. An older woman doesn't do this. She's not looking at other women as threats. She's not sizing them up. She's not making snide comments about someone's dress or someone's weight or someone's relationship. Why? Because she's secure. She's done the work. She knows who she is. She knows what she brings to the table, and she's not interested in tearing other women down to feel better about herself. And men notice this. Because a woman who doesn't compete with other women is a woman who won't compete with us. She's not going to turn everything into a contest. She's not going to keep score. She's not going to weaponize other people's lives against ours. I was at dinner once with a couple. The woman spent the entire meal talking about her friend's engagement ring, how big it was, how expensive it must have been, how her boyfriend must really love her to spend that much. And she kept looking at her own boyfriend, kept waiting for him to get the hint, and I watched him shut down, right there at the table. I watched him realize nothing I do will ever be enough, because she's always going to be looking at what someone else has. An older woman doesn't do that. She's grateful for what she has. She celebrates other people's wins without making them about herself. And that gratitude, that generosity of spirit, it's magnetic. Number 8, she asks for what she wants directly. Men are not mind readers. We're just not, and yet, so many women expect us to be. She'll be upset about something and we'll say, what's wrong? And she'll say, nothing. And we're supposed to know it's not nothing. We're supposed to dig, to guess, to read the micro expressions on her face and decode the tone of her voice and figure out the exact thing she's upset about. It's exhausting and it's unfair. An older woman doesn't play this game. If she wants something, she says it. If she's upset, she tells you why. If she needs something from you, she asks. She'll say, I need you to help me with this thing on Saturday. Can you do that? Not, well, I guess I'll just do it myself since no one cares. She'll say, I'm feeling disconnected from you lately. Can we plan a date night this week? Not, you never want to spend time with me anymore. She'll say, I don't like it when you check your phone during dinner. Can we make a rule about that? Not silent resentment that builds for months until she explodes. This is called direct communication, and it's the difference between a relationship that works and a relationship that's a constant guessing game. Men respect this because it shows she respects us enough to be honest. She's not testing us. She's not setting us up to fail. She's giving us the information we need to make her happy, and we want to make her happy. We just need to know how. Number 9, she laughs at her self pride is a relationship killer. When someone can't admit they're wrong, can't laugh at their own mistakes, can't be vulnerable, it creates distance. Because the message is, I'm above reproach, I'm perfect, and if you see my flaws, I'll defend them to the death. An older woman isn't like this. She's made too many mistakes to pretend she's perfect. She's tripped in public. She's sent a text to the wrong person. She's called someone by the wrong name. She's burned dinner. She's forgotten important dates. She's said the wrong thing at the wrong time. And instead of being mortified, she laughs about it. She tells the story on herself. She makes it funny instead of tragic. I locked myself out of my house yesterday in my bathrobe, had to knock on my neighbor's door and ask to use his phone. Pretty sure he thinks I'm insane now. She says this with a smile, with lightness, with the energy of someone who knows that life is messy and that's okay. And men love this because it means she's not going to crucify us when we make mistakes. She's not going to hold grudges over small things. She's not going to make us walk on eggshells. She's going to laugh. She's going to move on. She's going to choose connection over being right. Number 10. She dresses for herself. There's a certain kind of woman who gets dressed in the morning and thinks, what will he like? What will get his attention? What will make him want me? And there's another kind of woman who gets dressed and thinks, what do I want to wear today? What makes me feel good? What represents who I am? An older woman is the second type. She's not dressing for male attention. She's dressing for herself, and paradoxically, this makes her more attractive. Because when a woman wears something because she likes it, it shows. She moves differently. She's more confident. She's not adjusting her dress every 5 seconds or asking, does this look okay? She knows it looks okay because she chose it and she's not following trends mindlessly. She's developed her own style. She knows what works for her body. She knows what colors she loves. She knows which pieces make her feel powerful and which ones make her feel soft. And she builds her wardrobe around that knowledge. Men notice this because a woman who dresses for herself doesn't need our validation, and that independence, that self-assurance, it's sexy as hell. I'm not saying she doesn't care what we think. I'm saying she doesn't make her worth dependent on it, and that's the difference. Number 11, she doesn't make him guess about sex. Let's talk about intimacy. Because this is where age and experience show up in a big way. Younger women, generally speaking, are still figuring out what they want in bed. They're still learning their bodies. They're still carrying shame or insecurity or ideas about what they're supposed to do versus what they actually enjoy. So they don't communicate. They expect the man to lead, to know, to read their body language. And if he doesn't get it right, they feel disappointed, but they don't say anything. They just lie there hoping it gets better. An older woman doesn't do this. She knows what she wants, and she tells you. Not in a demanding way, not in a way that makes you feel inadequate, in a way that's open, honest, collaborative. She'll say, I love when you do that thing, more of that, or can we try this? I've been thinking about it. Or that doesn't really work for me, but this does. And because she's confident enough to communicate, the sex is better for both people because you're not guessing, you're not performing, you're connecting. Men love this because we want you to enjoy yourself. We want to be good lovers, but we need feedback. We need honesty and a woman who can give that, who can be vulnerable and direct and present in the bedroom. That's rare and it's incredible. Plus, an older woman isn't treating sex like a bargaining chip. She's not withholding it to punish you or using it to manipulate you. She wants it because she wants it. And that mutual desire, that's what makes intimacy actually intimate. Number 12, she makes his friends feel welcome. Here's something subtle but powerful. An older woman understands that a man's friends matter to him. And she doesn't see them as competition. She sees them as part of his life, part of who he is. So when they come over, she's kind. She asks them questions. She remembers their names. She laughs at their jokes. She makes them feel comfortable. She doesn't sit in the other room sulking because he's spending time with them. She doesn't make passive-aggressive comments about how he always prioritizes his friends over her. She doesn't force him to choose because she knows that a man who's allowed to maintain his friendships is a happier man, and a happier man is a better partner. I've seen the opposite of this destroy relationships. A guy starts dating someone and slowly his friends disappear. She doesn't like them. She doesn't want him going out. She makes him feel guilty every time he makes plans, and eventually he's isolated and resentful, and the relationship falls apart. An older woman doesn't do this. She might even make plans with his friends' girlfriends or wives. She integrates herself into his life without erasing the parts of it that existed before her. And men appreciate this more than we can put into words because our friendships are important to us. They're part of our identity, and when a woman honors that, when she makes room for it, we feel respected. And we love her for it. Number 13, she doesn't make everything a test. Tests are exhausting, and a lot of younger women, consciously or unconsciously, test men constantly. She'll say she doesn't want anything for her birthday to see if he gets her something anyway. She'll act like she doesn't care about Valentine's Day to see if he makes a big deal out of it. She'll say she's fine when she's not fine to see if he pushes. It's all a test, and if he fails, she's upset. And if he passes, she doesn't acknowledge it because that would ruin the test. An older woman doesn't do this. She's past it. She knows that tests don't build trust, they erode it, because every test is a setup. And eventually, the man realizes he's always being evaluated, always walking on eggshells, always one wrong move away from failure, so she's direct instead. She tells him what she wants. She tells him what matters to her. She doesn't play games. She doesn't create hoops for him to jump through, and the result, he can relax. He can be himself. He doesn't have to second guess everything. He doesn't have to wonder if there's a hidden agenda. This creates safety, and safety creates intimacy, and intimacy creates the kind of relationship where both people can actually be happy. Number 14. She knows how to be alone. This is big. An older woman doesn't need constant companionship. She can be alone without being lonely. She can spend a weekend by herself and come back refreshed, not desperate for attention. This comes from years of building a relationship with herself. She's done the work. She's gone to therapy, she's journaled, she's sat with her own thoughts, she's learned to enjoy her own company, and because of that, she doesn't cling. She doesn't panic when you need space. She doesn't spiral when you're busy. She doesn't need you to text her every hour to feel secure. She trusts the relationship and she trusts herself. Men feel this because neediness is a burden and independence is a gift. When a woman can stand on her own 2 feet, when she has her own emotional center, it makes the relationship better because you're together because you want to be, not because she'll fall apart without you. I've talked to men who have left relationships because the woman couldn't function without them, couldn't make a decision without them, couldn't be happy without them, and it stopped feeling like a relationship. It started feeling like a rescue mission. An older woman doesn't put that on you. She's already rescued herself, and now she's just inviting you along for the ride. Number 15. She celebrates your wins without making them about her. This one's subtle, but it matters. When something good happens to you, a promotion, a success, a win, some women can't just celebrate it. They have to make it about them. You got promoted. That's great. Does that mean you'll have to work even longer hours? Are you going to have time for me? Or they compare. You got promoted. I'm still stuck in the same position. I guess some of us are just luckier, or they minimize. You got promoted. Well, you deserved it. It's about time they recognized you. Anyone could see that. None of these are celebrations. They're reactions rooted in insecurity or fear or competition. An older woman celebrates differently. She says, I'm so proud of you. Tell me about it. How did it happen? What does this mean for you? She listens. She asks questions. She gets excited with you. She doesn't make it about her because she's secure enough to let you have your moment. She's not worried that your success threatens her. She's not worried that you'll outgrow her. She's just happy for you, and that makes a man want to share everything with you because he knows you'll celebrate with him, not against him. Number 16. She admits when she doesn't know something. Pretending to know things you don't know is insecurity. An older woman doesn't do this. If you're talking about something she's unfamiliar with, she doesn't nod along and pretend. She says, I don't know much about that. Tell me more. Or, I've never heard of that. What is it? She's not embarrassed by what she doesn't know. She's curious. She's open to learning. She doesn't feel like admitting ignorance makes her less valuable. Men love this because it means you're real. You're not performing intelligence. You're not trying to impress us with knowledge you don't have. You're just being yourself, and it creates space for real conversation. Because we can explain things to you without feeling like we're talking down to you, and you can explain things to us without feeling like we're threatened by your knowledge. It's just two people sharing what they know. Number 17. She handles conflict without dramatics. Conflict is inevitable. Every relationship has it. The question is how you handle it. A younger woman, generally, handles conflict with emotion. Lots of emotion, crying, yelling, storming out, slamming doors, bringing up things from 6 months ago, making sweeping statements like, you always do this, you never listen to me. An older woman handles conflict differently. She stays calm. She uses I statements instead of you statements. She focuses on the specific issue, not your entire character. She doesn't escalate. She doesn't go for the throat. She'll say, I felt hurt when you said that thing in front of my family. Can we talk about why you said it instead of you humiliated me in front of everyone? You're so selfish. You don't care about me at all. See the difference? One invites conversation, the other shuts it down. Men appreciate this because we don't do well with high emotion. We shut down. We go into defense mode, and then nothing gets resolved. But when a woman can stay calm, can articulate what's bothering her, can focus on solutions instead of blame, we can actually hear her. We can actually work with her to fix things, and the relationship gets stronger instead of weaker. Number 18. She supports your downtime. Men need downtime. We need time where we're not producing, not performing, not solving problems, not being on. For some of us, that's playing video games. For some, it's watching sports. For some, it's going to the gym. For some, it's just lying on the couch staring at the ceiling. And a lot of women don't understand this. They see downtime as wasted time. They see a man relaxing and think he should be doing something productive, or spending time with them, or working on the relationship. An older woman gets it. She understands that downtime isn't laziness, it's recovery, it's necessary. It's what allows us to show up as our best selves the rest of the time, so she doesn't guilt you about it. She doesn't make you feel bad for taking time to recharge. She might even encourage it. She'll say, "Go play basketball with your friends. You've been stressed all week." And because she gives you that space, you come back to her better. More present, more energized, more grateful. This is wisdom. This is understanding how humans work. And it makes the relationship sustainable instead of suffocating. Number 19, she brings solutions, not just problems. 42, 30, 44, 30. Everyone has problems. Everyone complains, but there's a difference between someone who only complains and someone who also looks for solutions. An older woman has learned that complaining without action doesn't change anything. So when she has a problem, she comes to you with thoughts, ideas, possible solutions. She'll say, "I've been feeling really stressed about my job. I'm thinking about talking to my boss about adjusting my hours." What do you think? Not just, "My job is so stressful. I hate it there. Everything's terrible." She's not asking you to fix everything for her. She's asking you to be a sounding board, a partner, someone who helps her think through options. Men love this because we're wired to solve problems. But when someone comes to us with only complaints and no willingness to take action, we feel helpless. We feel like nothing we say will matter, so we stop engaging. But when a woman is actively working on her problems, when she's taking ownership of her life, we want to help, we want to support her, because we can see she's not a victim, she's an agent, she's in control of her life. And that's attractive. Number 20, she sees potential but loves reality. This is the most important one, and it's the hardest one to explain. Some women fall in love with potential. They meet a guy and they see who he could be. And they date that version, they commit to that version, they wait for that version to show up, but he's not that version, not yet, maybe not ever, and they spend years frustrated, disappointed, trying to change him, trying to push him toward the potential they saw. An older woman doesn't do this. She sees potential, she sees the good in you, she sees your strengths, but she loves you as you are right now, not who you could be, not who you might become, who you are. And if who you are isn't enough for her, she leaves. She doesn't stay and try to fix you. She doesn't stay and resent you. She just goes. But if who you are is enough, she loves you fully. She doesn't have a hidden agenda. She doesn't have a list of things you need to change before she can really love you. She just loves you, and men feel this. We feel the difference between a woman who's trying to change us and a woman who accepts us. And the second one will move mountains for her because she's not asking us to be different. She's just asking us to be ourselves. This is the secret. This is what makes older women so magnetic. They've let go of the fantasy. They've embraced reality, and in doing that, they've found something deeper than romance. They've found partnership. They've found peace. They've found real love. So let's bring this home. If you're watching this and you're a younger woman, I'm not telling you to change who you are. I'm not telling you to be someone you're not. What I'm saying is this: these traits, these behaviors, these ways of being in the world, they're not about age. They're about maturity. They're about self-awareness. They're about doing the work, and you can start doing the work now. You don't have to wait until you're 40 or 50 or 60. You can start becoming this woman today. Stop playing games. Stop testing people. Stop making everything about you. Start being direct. Start being secure. Start being present. And if you're watching this and you're an older woman, I want you to know something. You have more power than you've been told. Society tries to convince you that you're invisible after a certain age, that men don't want you, that you're past your prime. That's a lie. It's a lie designed to make you feel small, to make you feel desperate, to make you settle. Don't believe it. Because the truth is, men who have lived, men who have grown, men who know what matters, those men see you, and they want what you have, the confidence, the peace, the realness, the depth. You are not invisible, you are magnetic. And to the men watching this, I'll say this. If you've been chasing youth, chasing drama, chasing the performance of femininity instead of the reality of it, it's time to wake up. Because what you really want, what you really need, it's right in front of you, and it doesn't look like what Instagram told you it would look like. It looks like a woman who knows herself, who's comfortable in her own skin, who doesn't need you but chooses you, who challenges you without breaking you, who loves you without losing herself. That's the woman you're looking for, and she's not 20. 2. She's probably older than you think. And she's probably more incredible than you imagined. So pay attention, notice the small things, notice the silence, notice the confidence, notice the lack of games, notice the directness, notice the peace. Because those small things, they're everything. Thank you for watching. If this resonated with you, leave a comment. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, real attraction isn't about tricks or tactics. It's about becoming someone worth being attracted to. That's the work. That's always the work. I'll see you in the next one.